really, if of the ones I've seen, because I think Piranha still has some fun moments to it.
Well, I think
Yeah, yeah.
Piranha was meant to be fun.
Right, and that's why it has some fun
Yeah.
moments too. Some of them don't work, is the thing. But,
Sure.
And this kind of marries those two kind of ideas together. Like this one has some, it is definitely fun and like smirking a little bit, and I kind of like that in that it's not. I mean, it's not like a traditional horror movie, but I do like that it kind of smirks at the audience a little bit, but not. It doesn't like break the fourth wall too much. So that's definitely an enjoyable part of it.
I mentioned to Drew too that it feels like it belongs in the young adult category of films. Like it feels like it belongs in right alongside
Horns?
the Twilight universe.
Horns or
Horns.
why is that? Like, yeah, explain that. What do you mean?
The
rape.
murder and
It's the rape. I don't. It's the idea of this young love that is
Yeah.
the overpowering story. Really, it's not. I mean, that Daniel Iggy is Ig, right? Iggy.
Ig Parish.
So Iggy is accused of raping and murdering his girlfriend, and the movie unfolds and him trying to figure out who did it. But the overall theme is this true love that is not what it seems, and also, at the end, it's kind of a spiritual ending with the idea of what happens at the very end.
But wasn't the true love always what it seemed? I mean, that's the thing.
Well, the true love was true, but we were led to believe that it wasn't.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
because it was so true.
Right.
Because she's so perfect and,
But it's full of the ideas. I mean, these aren't the people in their, 30s, in their 30s talking about stuff. These are young basically kids, getting ready to start their lives together.
Yeah, this is not a middle-aged couple who has sort of settled into just like a passive hatred of one another.
And
I certainly agree with you. Like it's like a right post high school kind of
like
thing.
right
Yeah.
after high school, you have this idea that, this is the girl I'm going to be with forever.
Right.
It's kind of like Twilight for assholes like us.
Sure.
Mhm.
If
Sure,
that
yeah,
makes any
exactly.
sense.
Twilight for assholes.
It's like Twilight, the
Twassholes.
after high school years, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I've made a huge mistake.
I've got cancer. Is that in the book, Drew? Do you remember that being in the book?
yeah.
In Twilight or in Horns?
It was in both. Yeah, Twilight too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she got
Twilight is a cancer.
like what's the like cancerotherapy.
Neuroblastoma,
Like
a glioma.
But yeah, no, it was. It had been a while since I read it, so I had to kind of bone up on the book afterwards just to make sure I remembered everything. But yeah, that was her reasoning there as well. I mean, and that's I think one of the things, like when I was looking back at the book, it was reminding me. I think one of the biggest weaknesses the movie ends up having is Lee, because we don't get enough of Lee. The one thing we get much more of in the book is Lee Turno.
Lee Turno.
Thank you. I don't know why that wouldn't come out
Mary
right.
Kay Letourneau.
And,
Yeah, kind of.
And he just and just we didn't get that backstory with him that really kind of fleshed him out and made him more than just what he ends up being in the book. Is, I mean, he's the friend until he's the not
Not the friend.
Yeah.
Let me also.
Because like all the stuff with him saving Ig's life, he made such a huge deal about it in the book, and it's just like we see the scene of him saving his life, and it never becomes. It's not the impetus for him. The rest of the book and everything he does with Lee is feeling bad about that and wanting to make up for that, and we don't really see that at all ever in the movie. We don't even need that scene honestly in the movie because it never really comes back into play.
So.
Well, it's meant to dissuade you from thinking that he is the killer.
Right.
Ultimately,
But I mean,
sorry.
But I don't think you need that to even accomplish that in the movie. You just don't give us the idea that he could be the killer for a while. Like no one even mentions him as the idea of the killer. So I mean, it's not like we're even leaning that way. And it's like, no, man, no, he saved my life. It couldn't be him.
Because he steps in at very key points in the story to go like, "Hey, buddy, I'm here to help you. I'm your lawyer."
Right. Yeah.
So, Ig, Daniel Radcliffe's character, we start the movie with him being accused of this crime. Everyone hates him. And then it's not long after that where he wakes up in the morning and finds that he has horns growing from his head.
It's kind of the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 way of getting horns too, because he gets them the night after he pisses on her memorial.
Yes. So he starts getting horns, and then oddly, everyone starts telling. Everyone is very truthful to him, which is, I mean, I probably one of the high points of the movie is just how like fucking nuts everyone's confessions are. And
I expected more of them. Like there were more in the book, and they were more like scandalous. So I kind of expected more of that from it. Yeah.
My favorite was the doctor.
Yes.
When he's like, "Oh God, you patients are all assholes."
It's always about you.
Oh, and I think that's where the movie. I think that's where it is being its most successful because, I mean, for one, I mean, Daniel Radcliffe's his reactions to that's perfect as Ig is like, I don't care what you do when these people are asking him, can I do this? He's like, I don't give a shit because he doesn't understand what's going on at first. When I especially love when Glenna is asking him, can I eat this donut? He's like, I don't care.
Right, and
eat donuts.
It took me until he went to the doctor's office to realize what was happening. Like first, I was like, I guess she just really likes him and wants his approval. And like, do you care if I eat this?
Yeah, Kate had the same thing. She was like, is she because she likes to figure out movies, so she was like, is she the killer? Is she crazy? Is that why? I was like, so I kind of had to explain the premise to her. But after that, what's weird about this movie is I was going to laud it because I was like, oh, it doesn't get into a lot of the backstory because it's so short. But it's not. It's 2 hours long.
It's 2 hours long, yeah. If it was shorter, I'd be okay with that as an excuse.
If they cut 30 minutes out of it, I'd be like, well, we don't really need the backstory. And people say, like, how this movie is 2 hours and it still feels anemic as a movie, even at 2 hours, which is weird.
2 hours, and that's that is what's weird about it. And that's, I think, part of its problem is there's stuff in there that doesn't need to be in there, but if you're going to be that long, there's stuff to add that you could flesh that out much better. It could be told better, I think, at that rate.
Yeah.
At least in that's a screenplay issue, I think.
So in the book, do they explain the appearance of the snakes better?
No.
No?
They just kind of appear like they follow him, and the book is, the movie is like filled with religious imagery. It doesn't feel as sort of cornpone in the book as it does in the movie. Like whenever you see the restaurant, it's like Eve's Garden. You're like, oh, okay, this isn't a video game, BioShock. So it feels less overt and obvious in the book for some reason, but in the movie, it's like, oh, here's more snakes, I guess, because that's obviously, and like it got really corny for me at the end when he picks up a pitchfork. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that's really obvious, isn't it? He's literally becoming the devil.
And is that the thing? Is he supposed to be the devil or a demon?
No, I mean it's not. I mean it's these whole ideas are coming up in it, but I don't think it's ever really established that he was. That's what I was going to pull up.
Would you be okay with that gift?
What do you mean?
People giving you the truth, like just the honest truth.
No,
yeah, technically they're not about him.
If I could add the cool horns to go along with it, sure.
Okay, the whole thing. You get the horns and everything.
Horns, though, yeah.
I wouldn't want that at all. Like I wouldn't want. I don't want people telling me that kind of shit. Like I want people to keep. Like I'm almost northeastern in my view of like privacy and stuff. Like I don't want everybody telling me their shit. Like just deal with it.
It's awful, especially when his parents are too.
Yeah.
Right. That's terrible.
I did forget about that.
I wouldn't want to know that. Like all the things that I joke about because it's like that insecure need to be like patted on the head. Like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Right.
Because if people actually told you the things that they're actually thinking, no, I would be destroyed by it. I would jump off a fucking bridge if I had that power.
So I'm going back up to see my family on Thanksgiving for a week. I'm going to pretend like I'm Daniel Radcliffe in horns and just be.
Are you going to wear your horns?
I'm going to wear my horns, and I'm just going to be completely honest the whole time. Like,
wait, but
it's impossible.
That's not how it works. He wasn't completely honest.
But I'm not going to try to explain the movie to them. So I'm going to do that.
Like I went through a phase like that where I was like, I'm just going to be completely honest with people and just be forthright and upfront.
Could you imagine what an asshole Tyler was during that time? Not in talks to you.
Not in that sort of like stream of consciousness, like William Faulkner on display kind of way, but just like if someone asks me a question, I'm just going to be honest and say like whatever. And it's just
it is ugly.
It
ask you that.
it is easy to say that you can do that, but I don't think that's any more virtuous than like telling shades of lies. Like I think telling shades of lies is in some ways more virtuous than just being blunt and honest at all times. Like I try to be as honest as possible, but there are times when I just don't tell the entire truth because it just doesn't improve the situation. It doesn't improve like how I am interacting with this person. So I just feel like this sort of honesty is crazy.
No, I agree. I mean, I agree there. I mean, with exactly what you're saying. I mean, there's something to be said for the little white lies of life that allow us to go through and exist in society. I mean, granted, some of those people were covering up some big fucking fat black lies, you know.
Yeah.
But that was, you know. But
I also don't have like
you didn't
a
murder
secret.
someone.
Yeah, like I don't have like a secret addiction. Like I don't have some compulsion. Like I'm lying because I want to be on TV. I deserve my own reality show.
So what I get from this conversation is what you're saying is when someone says, "How does this look?" and you say, "It's fine." We know what you really think.
I mean, that's
sometimes you just want to get out of the house.
right.
How does this look? It's fine. Let's go.
Let's go. I mean, I don't know. Like it sort of greases the wheels of like just moving things along. Like, can you imagine how things would grind to a halt if you were just like, go put on something else?
Oh God, you look like shit. Go back in.
I'm not going out like this. Yeah, no, I mean that sort of blunt honesty just would never work. Like it's like America as an idea and we as a people are just so sort of like codified in this garbage that it's just like, yeah, it's fine. That's how we do. That's how we live. This is who we are. Just telling these sorts of things. I think so.
It was certainly it made for the most entertaining, I think, section of the movie as far as just pure entertainment value went. And I mean, like you said, the scene with the doctor, the scene at the bar. I mean, when he tells the reporters,
right,
fight
Love it.
Whoever wins gets the exclusive interview. I mean, that was a fantastic.
I did enjoy it. That was a good part. Yeah,
it just seems like the movie could have more fun with itself.
I think after that, and that's where it kind of loses its fun after that, and it just doesn't. I think it just kind of meanders after that. As he's trying to solve the crime because it's not focused in his solving of it. He does find out about Heather Graham's character, but I think that scene ends up that whole sequence ends up underwhelming. She doesn't really add
nothing comes of
anything.
it. She gets
it really felt unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean the book is a lot more cohesive a thing than the movie is for sure. Because in the book, doesn't he go back to the priest and like doesn't the priest get a comeuppance in the book at at some point? I thought that I don't remember. God, it's been so long.
The priest offers to hang him or something like that.
Priest tells him to hang himself, but he also offers to hang him. But he says it would be better if you just did it yourself because you're an asshole.
Gotcha.
Who deserves to die.
I mean, I think they make a lot of times I understand making adaptations is one thing, but I think some of the changes here weren't necessary. I mean, I think taking Terry out of the
Conspiracy.
direct line of fire for the murder was one. I mean, was a weakness.
He's the cop, right?
The brother.
Oh yeah.
And taking him completely out of. I mean, he was there. He sees it happen, and the whole reason he doesn't ever say anything or do anything is because Lee, in the movie, as we see, Lee frames him without him knowing it, and I think that's a lot weaker than him in the book. He knows what happened and he won't tell because he's so afraid of losing. Remember, he has a TV show. He's the musician who has the tour, it's a TV show or tour, something like that going on, and he's going to lose that, and he's afraid of losing that if they find out. So it makes it much more of a selfish decision on his part that he knows the truth but won't tell it because Lee says, well, I'm just going to, you're going to lose everything you have. And so he allows his brother to, not quite take the fall, but essentially be taking the fall at that point. And I think that's a much more compelling way than this whole, oh, what happened? I got blood all over me. And how did this I don't know what happened. Then you get with the brother, takes a lot of his, his again, it takes his purpose for existing out of it. There's no need for him to be there. If he wasn't there for it, his being framed for it added nothing to it.
It's also like the movie is not quite as mean to its characters. It like too many of the characters are like they don't come off good. I mean, the brother doesn't come off looking very shiny at the end of this, but at the same time, it's not as mean. Like it is entirely more like optimistic a movie than the book is. Like the book is way darker than the movie, and I didn't really expect that.
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I agree. I think I was thinking it was going to end up being somehow darker by the time it was over.
I mean, I just remember the ending of the book being really brutal, and it wasn't like the movie was not quite. I also like in the book the sort of like head fake with Ig's death is done differently, or is it in there at all? I don't remember. Like where they set him, when they set him on fire. Does that happen in the book, Drew? I don't remember. But it doesn't work.
Hanging out for 1 second. We're going to read this.
It doesn't work. We're going to read the last 30 pages of the book aloud. I just don't think it works as well in the movie to have that kind of head fake, because it just doesn't, like, it just stops the narrative too much unless you have some other reason for having it. It just doesn't work. After we are told what happens as far as what's the girl's name what's his girlfriend's name? It's not Eve, is it?
Who?
No.
Ig's girlfriend. Marin, that's it.
As in father, Marin.
Gotcha. I felt like she was a huge asshole for what she was doing.
It's in what way? Like I see what you're saying, but like in what way?
Well, we're led to believe that she is leaving. I mean, we're led to believe that she's leaving Ig for just no reason at all.
Yeah.
Which would feed into the fact that maybe she was, banging dudes on the side.
Right.
But I don't know if I would find this relief in knowing that, she did this because of her terminal disease that was going to cause her suffering, and she didn't want me to suffer through it. It still feels kind of shitty to me. It's like, well, that's not your decision to make, asshole.
Right. I kind of see that. Like,
it's a very Lifetime movie.
It is a very Lifetime movie, and it's very like, that's what I'm saying, the young adult idea of like, this is the best for everyone.
It's almost like a Nicholas Sparks plot device.
Right.
I mean, the person dying of cancer.
So does her father know she's got the cancer? The cancer.
The cancer. I don't remember. I wouldn't think so.
I can't remember if, like, when Ig came back with his, his burned body, the horns, he has a conversation with her father. If her father says I know he gives him a key, but does the father realize what's going on at that point?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it just seems like that's a good point. I didn't think of that at all, but I don't think he would have. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Like, to him, it wouldn't matter. She's dead, right? Like, because his goal
he looks horrible in that death scene.
Oh, that rock.
Yeah, that was rough.
Wait, what?
The death scene, Marin's death scene.
Yeah. Well, the eyes.
Really, if of the ones I've seen, because I think Piranha still has some fun moments to it.
Well, I think Piranha was meant to be fun.
Right, and that's why it has some fun moments too. Some of them don't work, is the thing. But,
sure.
And this kind of marries those two kind of ideas together. Like, this one has some. It is definitely fun and like smirking a little bit, and I kind of like.
So Iggy is accused of raping and murdering his girlfriend, and the movie unfolds and him trying to figure out who did it. But the overall theme is this true love that is not what it seems, and also. It's at the end, it's kind of a spiritual ending with the idea of what happens at the very end.
But wasn't the
alongside the Twilight universe?
Horns or
horns?
Why is that? Like, explain that. What do you mean?
The murder
rape. It's the rape. I don't. It's the idea of this young love that is the overpowering story. Really, it's not. I mean, that Daniel Iggy is Ig, right? Iggy.
Ig Parish.
True love always what it seemed. I mean, that's the thing.
Well, the true love was true, but we were led to believe that it wasn't.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But because it was so true.
Right.
Because she's so perfect and,
But it's full of the ideas. I mean, these aren't the people in their, 30s, in their 30s talking about stuff. These are young kids.
like that in that it's not, I mean, it's not like a traditional horror movie, but I do like that it kind of smirks at the audience a little bit, but not, it doesn't like break the fourth wall too much. So that's definitely an enjoyable part of it.
I mentioned to Drew too that it feels like it belongs in the young adult category of films. Like it feels like it belongs in